And your lighting is kind of bad. Do you want this light on?
And I finally made it. Thanks to all of you who are joining me for my 20,000 subscriber live stream. Live stream, not live scream. I appreciate you joining me. I've been following the chat here on the side for a little while and commenting a few things as on the way. I don't have any kind of a script for tonight or anything like that. I'm just going to be shooting from the hip and trying to answer as many of your comments and questions as I can. If I happen to miss one, I apologize now. I'm going to try to hit as many as I can, but there are a lot of comments and questions that come up on the stream over here. So if I miss one, I'm sorry. Anyway, who all do we have? We have, starting at the top of my screen, Dan, Chris, Ryder54, Edward's here, Michael, and let's see, who else do we have? Dale, thank you. Thanks to all of you for joining me. Can everybody hear me okay? Shoot me a quick message. Let me make sure that the audio is working okay. Just watching here, Celsius, Stan the Man, Ken Tucker, Steve Detweiler. All right, good. Audio is working good, so it looks like everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Hopefully I'll do what I'm supposed to be doing. By the way, I'm being joined right now by my lovely wife, Mimi, back here, who's behind me. And also Samantha is off to the side. And again, she's the one that plays all the music that you hear when I have the intro and the outro when I make the videos. That's all her music. Gunny, Paulo, thanks to all of you for joining. Rich, appreciate you being here. So this whole purpose of this live stream is to celebrate reaching 20,000 subscribers. That was something that I really wanted to do. And it was a goal that I set several or quite a while back. Actually, over a year ago, I hit 10,000 subscribers and I really wanted to make it to 20,000. Took about 13 or 14 months to get there and finally made it. And I like to do these live streams more or less as a celebration of accomplishing something, or not just, you know, trying to do one every week or every few days or whatever, but really to try to make it kind of an event. And I really appreciate you, all of you joining. And I'm going to go down through the comments here, see what I've got. If you got any questions for me about anything that you've seen in the videos, any questions that you just want to throw out there, by all means, go ahead. And I'll try to answer those as I go. Michael says, tell your daughter thank you for the great piano music. Thank you for the great piano music from Michael. Got somebody from Maine AR. Hello to you. Semper Fi to Baxter. It's been kind of a rough winter for everyone, as you know, with the situation we've had going on, and a lot of people are locked up at home. And I've been trying to kick up the video production a little bit here lately to give you all something to watch while you're sitting at home. The one big thing that I started doing this year was the midweek update, and that really was something that has been received well. Thanks to all of you who have been watching those. Those are really just little short videos that I'm putting out right around Wednesday, sometimes Tuesday, sometimes Thursday, usually Wednesday. To give you something to look at, and it's normally a topic that's not big enough for a full Saturday morning premiere. By the way, on Saturday mornings, I feel like I've taken the place of Scooby-Doo. I've filled the void that was left in the Saturday morning cartoon from when we were kids, and I've now got those going on now. But anyway, back to the midweek updates. On those, it's a short video trying to get something out there, and you've received those really well, and I appreciate it. Going back to the feed here, got Jasper asking for more long-range shooting. I've got a little bit more of that coming up fairly soon. KJ Stanley says I should buy my daughter a concert grand. I think I should too. I just don't have the money.
And we don't have the room.
Yeah, we don't have the room. Bradley loved the Big Medicine 405 Winchester. So did I. And you can thank Edward over here. He's somewhere in the stream. That was his rifle that he loaned to me, which I very much appreciate. Got Tim, I'm not sure if it's Barrage or Barrage, saying hello from Creston, just down the road. Hello, Tim. Go back. I've got Dale Kidd saying go back to the martial arts and shooting similarities. I think there's a lot to be learned from that. That was something I really was looking forward to putting that out there because, and I mentioned this in some of the comments that were associated with that video. There is so much that I've gotten in my life from my martial arts training, far, far beyond anything to do with fighting. The self-discipline, the perseverance, the working toward achieving goals, all of that comes from a martial arts training that I started at a very young age. It helped me in the Marine Corps. It has helped me all throughout my law enforcement career. It's helped me in aspects of my life far, far beyond anything that has anything to do with fighting. And that's why I really recognize those same traits and characteristics in shooting. And just like I talked about in the video, the balance, the coordination, the focus, all of that, training and perfecting technique, is absolutely as essential in shooting as it is in any of the unarmed fighting disciplines, which is why I wanted to draw that distinction and really put that together in that midweek update. And all of you really accepted that well, and I really appreciate that. Okay, I won't read your name out loud, the gentleman that asked me not to. Greetings from the Philippines. This is Haruka. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Greetings to you. Thanks for tuning in from the Philippines. Got Indie Fan from Missouri. Thank you very much.
You can see my heart here. I do that with Zoom all the time.
We've got
Fixing it.
the M1As are coming. I've got an M1A video in the pipeline right now. That's going to be out very soon. It's going to be a little bit different than some of the ones you've seen before, but there is an M1A video coming. Rusty Shackelford, what ideas do you have in mind for videos coming? I got a bunch of them. And I don't like to throw too much out there ahead of time because I like them to come up as a little bit of a surprise. But I've got a lot of things. I've got some pistol reviews that I've got coming up. I've got some more. I've got to get started again with the law enforcement qualification videos. I've got 30 or qualification courses from 30 different states that I've completed. I want to kick that back off again and get the rest of the 50 states knocked out. And I've got a bunch of people asking me to do federal law enforcement courses. I've had some people ask me to do international law enforcement courses. So those are coming as well. Going back over here. Hi, Dale from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Frank Buddha says, have Mimi say hi. Mimi say hi to Frank. As she's going to wave. Bradley Miller, I'm sorry, you just went up off the screen. I've got, Bradley Miller from Rosenberg, Oregon. Thank you for tuning in. Steve, that's no problem. I love putting out these videos, and the videos really are for you. The thing that keeps me coming back in front of the camera time and time again are the viewers. I have the best viewers on YouTube. You people are fantastic. I really enjoy the support that I get and all the feedback, and that's what keeps me doing this. It's certainly not anything to do with making money off of ad revenue or anything like that. It really is all about you, and I appreciate all of your support. Frank reminded me the new Scooby-Doo movie was released tonight. Okay, well, so I won't take the place. Well, I guess I am taking the place of it tonight since I'm taking the place of Scooby-Doo on Saturday mornings. I'm also taking his place tonight. Talking Rock, congratulations. How's the scoped M1A shooting? That's coming back, and I really want to get that new, and I put this in the midweek update several weeks ago. And everything's been slowed down because of the coronavirus, but I want to get that new art scope that I have from Hilux mounted on a rifle and get that up so you folks can see how that's going to perform. Catch Jitsu, Dan the Wolfman, thanks for tuning in, and hello. How's everything down in Georgia tonight? I'm going back down the feed over here. Michael Sestak. Hope you don't mind the question, but since you've done videos on the M1 Grand and M1A, do you think you'll do a video on the M1 carbine? I would love to, but I don't have an M1 carbine. That's one of the things I have to add to my collection one of these days. And my club has an M1 carbine shoot that we do periodically. I want to get one so I can participate in the shoot. And when I do, I'll have a video up for all of you to watch. Ben Crane, have you heard any stats or seen any uptick in domestic violence with the quarantining? Not in my village. I think overall in across the country and throughout our state, there has been an uptick in that. We've been largely spared that. I work in a sleepy little village, and usually people get along pretty well, so we've been largely
we won't know
spared.
We won't know those numbers until after all this.
Paulo from Brazil, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you tuning in, and thanks again for all your support from down there. One of these days, we're going to make it down there. You invited us to a barbecue, so we'll be there. Just I got to figure out when we can get there, and also whenever the planes start flying again. Keith Kent, congratulations on the 10mm handgun. Thanks, Keith. Keith gives me a lot of support and a lot of feedback from right here in Ohio. I always appreciate hearing from Keith. Jasper, thanks for the profanity-free videos. That's something that I really try to be mindful of. And I've mentioned this before. I'm very much aware that when I present something in a video, I'm representing myself, obviously. I'm representing former Marines and current Marines. I'm representing law enforcement officers and Americans and firearms owner to an audience around the world. And I want to put forth the best image that I can. And that's why I really try to curtail any type of profanity or even any language that could just be obnoxious or insulting or whatever. I try to keep these as G-rated as I can. And that really seems to resonate because I get a lot of positive feedback because of that. And again, I'm going to jump back over here. Dan the Wolfman, Teddy Roosevelt boxing. Yes, Teddy Roosevelt did have boxing equipment in the White House. I remember hearing about that. He also, my favorite Teddy Roosevelt story is when they designed the 03 Springfield, it originally had a spike bayonet, and President Roosevelt thought that thing was flimsy. So he actually had a bayonet duel with a general, and he used one of the older rifles with the standard, blade style bayonet to prove that it was superior to that spike bayonet. Now that's a president when he has a duel with somebody with bayonets to prove which one is superior. Are you doing any other social media that we might be following? I really don't do much. I have a Facebook page largely because Mimi set it up for me, but I very much, or I don't do very much on there. I've never done anything with Instagram or any of the other ones. I barely have time to do everything that I do on YouTube, let alone all these other things. What do you use for home defense, shotgun or pistol, and why? First off, yes. I have different firearms at different places around my house for different reasons. Shotguns with flashlights, obviously, for things that go bump in the night. I have handguns accessible to me. It all just depends on where I am and what might be happening, but I've got something generally that I can grab pretty close by. If I don't actually have it on my person, normally I have a firearm on my person. So, yeah, I don't have to worry too much when I'm in my home. We've had a sharp uptick in domestic violence. And again, I think nationwide that's the case. Like I said, I've been lucky here.
Well, that you know.
I think we would all like to know what Mimi thinks of your channel. What does Mimi think of my channel?
I enjoy it. I'm glad he's doing something. sharing his knowledge and his expertise.
She's the one that has to put up with all the time that I spend on the range and all the time that I spend in the shop recording the videos.
I don't really put up with that. That's something that you do.
And putting everything together, not to mention spending a couple of dollars here and there on, I don't know, firearms, ammunition, those kind of things.
But I deal with it too.
Samantha said she deals with it too. So she's feeling a little bit left out here, I guess. Just read Glenn Zedeker's book, The Practical AR-15. That's a great book. And I actually, the M1A load that I use, the 39.5 grains of IMR 3031 behind a 168 grain match grade bullet came from that book. And it's been a fantastic load for me. So that is a very good book. There's a lot of other great tips in there as well. First video, James Cooper says, first video of yours that I watched was how to install a military leather sling. I really enjoy your clear instructions. Thank you. And that video was one that really steadily gets a lot of views. And I think the reason is because people know it's there. So when they get a new rifle or a new sling, they dial that thing up so they can use it to help install the sling. So that's great. I'm glad. That's why it's up there. And I use it myself for the same reason. Barry Grant, is the wife back there working on sending out your Christmas cards? No, she's probably on Facebook or
Correct.
Something else. Yeah, she's on Facebook. Academy Sports was almost completely out of ammo. Can't find any 45. We were just at a store today here in Ohio, mid-Ohio over by Ashland. It's called Fin, Feather, and Fur. They had a bunch of ammunition. So hopefully the ammunition supply is going to pick back up and everyone will be able to get the ammunition that they need. But I know that when this whole situation first kicked off, there were like two things that vanished off the shelves. One of them was ammunition and the other one was toilet paper. I don't know what the connection is there, and I'm not sure I want to know what the connection is there, but for whatever reason, those two things disappeared. Toilet paper seems to be coming back. Hopefully ammunition will be following. What's happening at Camp Perry this year? Nothing. We got a notice a couple of weeks ago that they've canceled the national matches for this year. CMP has closed down all their operations basically all across the country. I'm hoping maybe the fall games up in, I can't remember now if it's New Hampshire or Maine, but I'm hoping maybe they'll still go forward, but we haven't heard yet. We'll have to wait and see. So right now, really, there's nothing going on at Camp Perry. Catch Jitsu 1911-45. Have you found most can feed various hollow points reliably, or have they been selective, even with aftermarket magazines like 47D with HST and Golden Saber? My 1911s tend to feed anything I put in there. I've really not run into a problem with my Remingtons or my actually some of the other ones that are chambered for other cartridges, like my Rock Island Armory chambered for the 10 millimeter or my American Classic 2 chambered for 38 Super. They run pretty much everything I put in there. I haven't had a problem. I do run the Wilson 47Ds in my 45 caliber 1911s. And I run some mech GARs and some other things in the other ones. And I really have not run into an issue with any of those. Jasper says, nice clean videos. Thanks. You're welcome. And for some reason, we jumped quite a ways there. And let me see if I can get back to where we were. Chris Peterson, call Mr. Clint McKee for a carbine. Okay, thank you for the reference. $85.41. No, $58.11 was what I was. So not an $85.41. I was a sniper for my police department's tactical team for a number of years, but I was not a sniper in the Marine Corps. Paulo would like to see my wife on the range with me. I don't think I have any first one to tell you.
Just talk about how clean your videos were.
When you talk about getting another gun, I can just hear your wife's eyes roll. No, she actually is very supportive when I buy firearms. So
and have bought him many of them.
and she has bought me many of them. So she's a keeper. Any chance of a video on your offhand technique?
That's a good one.
I've actually got some videos where I talk about that. If you go back to some of the older ones where I'm working with my M1, I did a video probably 4 or 5 years ago where I was doing just shooting positions, and I talk about that some there. So I've already got some of those out there, and I try not to be repetitious in my videos, but maybe I need to revisit that. And since we're just now coming into nicer weather and getting ready to kick off the match season, I can get something else up there too.
Focus on offhand.
Frank Buddha bought a mint 1984 Smith & Wesson Model 19, gave it to his son. Should I try to get it back? Yes. Serendipitous found your channel when I got my feet wet in CMP. Thank you for a positive professional channel. Very good work. Also love your 0384. Thank you. And I'm glad I get a lot of feedback from folks that have gotten started in high power rifle shooters, or high power rifle shooting rather, and refer to my videos for information. Part of the reason I put some of these up is when I first started, I didn't know anything. I knew how to shoot, but as far as how the matches were run and how everything worked at Camp Perry and everything else, I didn't know a thing. So when I got to where I knew a little bit, at least, I put those videos up so that hopefully other shooters, when they were first getting started in competitive high power shooting, they would have a little bit more information than I had. So I'm glad that that's helped out so many people. I think this thing just skipped again. Baxter, Jack Russell, 2nd Battalion, 5th Marine Division. If you're asking me if I was in 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, no, I was not. Not a firearm question. What was your favorite patrol vehicle ever assigned, Ford or Chevy? Actually, I think my favorite ones are the ones we're using now, the Ford Explorers. And the big reason for that is, and of course they're not called Explorers, they're called, I can't think of the name now, Interceptors or something, Interceptor SUVs. But I like them because we have so much room for us and for all of our stuff. As the years have gone by, we're cramming more and more and more stuff into police cars. And in the SUVs, we've got a little bit more room for all that, and to help us fit in there a little bit better too. Some of us officers tend to require more room as the years go by too. I'm not sure why that is. Does Samantha shoot? And would you ever do a video of her going over safety, grip, etc.? Actually, she does shoot, and she was in a video that I recorded a while back. So she has been at least in one, and I don't know, do you want to be in another one?
I'm not a very good shot.
She says she's not a very good shot. She actually is a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
I stick to the piano.
Chapman's Creek Revival, just bought my first Springfield M1A last week. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome. I love the M1A, the M14 platform. I very much enjoy shooting it. Like I said, there's going to be another video, an M1A centric video coming up very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Ben Crane, any thoughts on setting up an email account for the channel? Would be useful to help facilitate some loaner firearms. My email, I think, is on the channel. There's an email address that I use, and I put it out several times in the comments too. So if anybody needs an email, hit me up in the comments,
Well-
and I'll give you an email address.
We'll connect them. We'll get them connected.
Ronbo Dua Ruger 90 VS Alabama Elioka. I already did the Alabama course, and I think that's the one that I did with the Model 10. And I liked both the course and the Model 10. Frank Buddha says Mimi is great. Chase Kelly, first video of yours I saw was a custom Marine holster from Always Faithful. He makes such nice pieces. Yes, he does. And unfortunately, Skip couldn't be here tonight. He sent me a message yesterday, I believe it was, saying that he had something going on. He wasn't going to be able to make it, which is too bad. I hope he's able to watch this later and see everything that was discussed, and also that he sees your comment on the holster. He makes great holsters. I love the holsters that he makes, and I love the fact that he'll personalize them, and he gives a discount for current and prior military, law enforcement, fire, and EMT. So if you're looking for a holster, look up Always Faithful Holsters on Facebook, and Skip can fix you up. Gunnar Bolton, ring a bell. No, not right off, but it's been a lot of years. Paulo, there's a tic-tac in the audio. There's a tic-tac in the audio. Old one. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Paulo. I'm a little confused. Stan the man, good to hear that your wife supports your sharing your knowledge. There's too much for us to learn, and experience is the best teacher. Absolutely, that's true. Rex, have you ever tried putting a snake shot in your black powder revolver? No, I never tried that. Have you ever used any Ruger double action revolvers? Did a lot of people use the Security 6 back in the day? Yes, they did. I've done a little bit of shooting with Ruger double action revolvers, not much, but a good friend of mine back when I first became a police officer had a Security 6 that he had had for years and years and years that he absolutely loved and he spoke very highly of. And I know that other officers also back in the day used to use those quite a bit too. Celsius, if you could only own one 1911, which one would you choose? Oh, my Lord. If I could only have one, it would probably be my GI model 1911, just because that's the same firearm or the same handgun that I carried in the Marine Corps. That's the one that I've been using for 30 plus years now. It's the one that feels like an extension of my hand. That's the one that I would go with if I could only own one. Let's hope that day never comes. Stan the man, I'm a map guy and love seeing the globe on your table. One of the first things I bought my son years ago was a globe that he could just spend time looking at the world. I like having that too. And this is something I've had for a while. Actually, Mimi bought this for me. But I wanted a globe for a long time. I like having it there. I'm the same way. I like to turn it around, look at the places I've been, look at the places I'd like to go, and just think about the rest of the world too. GZERP, see if you can find info and do firearms qualification course from London Metropolitan Police. I'd like to do that. And if any of you are from the UK out there and you have access to that course, I would enjoy doing that. I've been to the UK several times, and I really enjoy England, been to Scotland primarily, and have enjoyed both of those countries. And I like doing qualification courses from there as well. So if anyone has access to those courses and they can get them to me, I would very much appreciate it. Dale Kidd, my wife is pretty good about guns, but apparently yours is even better.
It's not a competition.
For some reason, when this thing jumps, it jumps tremendously.
Probably just can't keep track of all the.
And I think that's what's happening. It's just the comments are coming in so fast that it really, when I go to scroll down, it jumps a big section of them. Carlo the Nomad, how would you influence a new shooter or a casual shooter to competitive shooting? I would say if there are competitions in your area that you're interested in, go and just watch the first time. Get an idea of what the competition is like. Talk to the people that are shooting, obviously not while they're shooting, but when you can. Get some information from them. Most shooters are going to be happy to tell you all about the competition and the rules and everything like that. That will go a long way toward helping you understand not just the shooting aspect, but all of how the matches are conducted and all the specifics. And it will help you very much the first time you decide to go and participate, just to have that background knowledge. David H. Wow, just came across your channel via a 2-year-old video. You've lost a tremendous amount of weight. Congrats. Thank you. I do appreciate everything everyone has said about the weight loss. Steve Detweiler, glad you made 20,000. Congratulations. 58th birthday tomorrow. Going shooting at your friend's deer lease. Have a good time and happy early birthday. Mimi shook her head yes at the range idea. Frank Buddy, he never shoots the Model 19. Oh, my Lord. What's wrong with that boy? He needs to learn all the pleasure associated with shooting that fine revolver. Woody Hayes, love the safes in the newer SUVs. Okay. Roy Kent, enjoy your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you, and I will. Jack Russell asking for a follow-up on my weight loss. Someone else asked me about that recently, too, and I might make that the subject of a midweek update coming up one of these days. Pistol Pete, really enjoy your channel, Funk. Congrats on hitting 20,000s. Thank you, Pete. Matthew Brenner, first off, thank you for your service to this country. And second, is the Mossberg Maverick 88 a good firearm? I have never used one. I really can't tell you anything about it, so I apologize for that. .223 DMR, thinking about putting a barrel strut at a Mini 14. Do you have any experience with that system? Nope, I'm sorry, I don't. You have a list of firearms you would like to do a video on, with that you do own. Wait a second. Kind of, sort of. I have a list. It's sort of a mental list, but I don't have it actually written down anywhere. Jeff Barron, are you permitted to keep only one of your handguns? Oh, if you were permitted to keep only one of your handguns, which would it be? Oh, man. I don't know if I can answer that question. If I could only keep one of them. Again, it would probably go back to the government 1911. But again, also, let's hope that day never comes. Chris Peterson, is it just me, or is the European 357 and 38 hotter than domestic U.S. ammo? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe, but I've never chronographed it or anything, so I can't say definitively. Yeah, I'm going to scroll down again, so it's probably going to take another big jump. Baxter was in a platoon with Corporal Funk. You cleared it up. I was a Corporal Funk once upon a time, but I don't think I was in the platoon you're thinking of. I was a corporal when I left Iwakuni, Japan. I got promoted to corporal over there. Sounds like a clock tick. Yeah, the clock over there ticks pretty loud. Stuart Grimm just got here trying to get started in high power locally. Lots of questions. First is, do the matches split up the scope and open site competitors into separate divisions or lump them all together? Depends on the match and exactly what firearms are being included. Like, for example, modern military now is split up into two different categories. National match course, everybody's lumped together. So it really depends on exactly what match you're shooting in. Everybody knows the earth is flat. And Dino, I'm not sure if it's Nucci or Nuki, probably Nucci. Dude, just watch your CZ75 versus Beretta M9 and subscribe. Strong work. Thank you. Appreciate that. There's Skip. He is here. Congratulations on the subscriptions. Thanks a lot. Glad you could be here, Skip. Hope you heard the comments about your holsters just a little while ago. Richard Shackelford, what videos do you enjoy making the most? Reviews or qualifications? I really enjoy them all for different reasons. They all give me a chance to introduce some different things. The thing that I'm enjoying the most right now is kind of working at a little bit more of the entertainment value. You've seen some things I've done recently where I'm driving up in my Corvette, or I'm starting out swinging nunchaku or something like that. I'm really just having fun right now. I'm still trying to convey good, accurate information to all of you, but I'm also trying to make the videos a little bit more entertaining. And I told somebody the other day, if somebody watches one of my videos and they come away feeling good about the experience and they feel like they learned something along the way, then I feel like I've done my job. Mark Chaveri, late to the party, but I'm here now. Congrats. Thank you, Mark. The American Paladin, congratulations on 20,000. Quick question. What are your views concerning the scout rifle concept? I'm just kind of starting to look at that now, and I'm going to have something coming up soon on that concept, so stay tuned for a little bit more on the scout rifle. Dale Kid is advising you to have that boy pack up the M19 and send it back. I'll send it to him. Ashley Palmer, keep up the good videos and the good work. Thank you. I will, or at least I'll try to. Opinion on the best suppressor host. Suppressors are not really my forte, and I really hate to give any kind of advice on those because I just don't feel that I'm knowledgeable enough to be able to do that. Pistol Pete, really like the intro music on your videos too. Your daughter does a fine job. Thank you. And she's sitting here listening to that right now. Any thoughts on the SIG M400 or AR pistol in 5.56? No, not as of yet. Pat Riot, HR, what's your views on Operation Warp Speed, the military's involvement in vaccinations? I just started hearing something about that today, so I can't really comment on that. I don't. That's another one of those things I don't feel like I have enough information on yet. KJ Stanley had to leave the stream for a while. May have missed a question. Any recommendations regarding how to safely secure and transport a long gun in a vehicle, gun locker, etc.? That's one of those things that really you need to check your local laws on and see what's required as far as transporting a firearm in a motor vehicle. That can vary from state to state, and I try to avoid giving specific advice like that because it can vary so much. My best advice to you would be to check with your local authorities and see what information they can give you. And I just made another big jump. Catch Jitsu. Mav is good to go. Oh, okay. I guess he's responding to a question from someone else. Mark Chiveri, Schofield 45, if you could keep one. I love that Schofield. That was another one that was loaned to me, but very much enjoyed shooting that and doing the review on it. Tom Crawford, Brother Tom is here. Glad to see you made it. That's okay that you're a little bit late. I'm just glad you made it. Thanks for tuning in from down there in sunny South Florida. Do you think the matches with scopes have taken away a little from what the CMP was founded on? Kind of, a little bit. On the other hand, I appreciate the fact that it allows shooters to stay in the competitions for longer as we get old. As we get older and our eyesight rather starts to fade a little bit, the scopes allow people to stay competitive for longer. Oddly, the thing that I kind of am lukewarm to is the idea of CMP going to all electronic targets and doing away with having people work in the pits. You know, working in the pits was always part of the competition. You know, you shoot, then you go down and you spend your time pulling the targets, and there's a lot of good banter that goes on down there, a lot of working, meeting new people and all that. As odd as it sounds, even though it was a lot of work, I'm kind of hating to see that part of it fade away. Dale Kidd, we Canadians are watching our firearms freedoms eroded. Yeah, I feel sorry for so many of you, not only in Canada, but in other countries where either you're very restricted on your firearms ownership now, or it's evaporating almost day to day. There's not much we can do here in America for you, but I do really hate seeing that. There are so many good firearms aficionados around the world that have had their liberties or their abilities to use firearms taken away, and I hate to see that. Otmarie Moore, congratulations from Georgia. His first video I watched of yours was the Remington 870 versus Mossberg 590. Was in the market for one. It helped you make the decision. What are your thoughts on number 4 for home defense, number 4 buckshot? I think it's a very good option. The nice thing about number 4 buckshot is it has a tendency not to penetrate drywall the way that double-aught does. For home defense, it's going to work very well at those close distances. So I think double or number 4 shot is a very good option for home defense in your shotguns. Skip is telling me he didn't hear about the holsters, but appreciate the nod. Yeah, there was a little bit of discussion about your holsters earlier and some very positive feedback. And again, anyone that's interested in a holster from Skip, his way to contact him is through Always Faithful Holsters on Facebook. Catch Jitsu. What were your 3 martial arts, and do you want to tell people that they really should do some kind of martial arts or combatives lessons if they carry a deadly weapon? Absolutely. Obviously, you can't have just one tool for every situation. You've got to be able to adapt to whatever situation you're in. My training, to answer your question, my initial training that I received my 2nd degree black belt in was Taekwondo. I'm currently a 3rd degree black belt in Japanese style karate, Shotokan. Also, I'm a 1st degree black belt in Taiho Jitsu, which is an art that comes from the Japanese police that deals with taking people into custody without actually doing physical harm to them. A lot of arm locks, takedowns, things like that. Those are my 3 different systems that I have black belts in. I've also trained with a number of different people all across this country and around the world from a number of other systems, and adapted a lot of other things into my personal fighting style. Everything from Western boxing to wrestling to Ashihara karate to a little bit of wushu. kind of blended it all together, but that's my three. And again, if you're carrying a firearm for defensive purposes, you really need to have something other than that you can fall back on, or you need to have something to ward off an attack while you're accessing your firearm. So that definitely does complement your firearms practice. Reverend Skip is telling me 1911, you say, if all you could have is one pistol. Yeah, I'm sure you're shocked by that. Lavender Butterfly, just started watching your live stream now. Are you a veteran, sir? Yes, I am. I spent 4 years in the United States Marine Corps from 1985 to 1989. I was out for almost 2 years, and then I was recalled for Operation Desert Storm. So I was right back in the Marine Corps again for a short period of time. And when we got out after Desert Storm, then I was out for good. Stuart Grimm having an issue with the 200 character limit, was alluding to CMP high power rifle military match. I'm not sure what you're asking there, Stuart. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit lost. Jeff Barron, if you could own any one handgun that you currently don't, what would it be? Wow. Any one handgun, probably a Colt Single Action Army would be the one, just because it's such an iconic firearm. I don't own one. I don't own a single action clone of a Colt Single Action Army, so that would probably be the one. Chris Peterson, nice Corvette. How many miles on it? I think 96,000. It's a 1980. I bought it when I turned 50, and when I made the video, I did a poor job of explaining that at the beginning, and I tried to correct a few people that first started to make comments, and then I just gave up because I realized I did such a bad job. But I'm actually 53 now. I bought that Corvette for myself 3 years ago when I turned 50. It was my 50th birthday present to myself. And there's a whole long story that goes along with me buying it, but I've wanted a Corvette for basically since the time I was old enough to know what a Corvette was. So back around 11 or 12 years old. And I loved that Stingray body style as a kid. That's still my favorite body style. And when I had the opportunity to buy one, finally I did. And it's now sitting out in my garage. And let me catch up here. Do you do any painting of fire? Yes, I do painting of firearms. And I've got several videos up from a while back where I am Duracoating firearms. And I love doing the camo patterns and different things on there. So if you go back through my channel, or if you just do a search on HR Funk Duracoat, you should find quite a few of those videos. And now I scrolled down again, so it made that big jump, and now I'm trying to catch up to where everybody is. Ben Crane, do you have any favorite firearms YouTube's channel? It's hard for me to say favorites. You know, I watch different things. A lot of times I'll do a search on YouTube if there's a firearm I'm interested in, and I end up seeing a lot of them. Years ago, there were certain channels that I used to follow that I've kind of drifted away from over time. I tend to watch some of the smaller channels these days, and it seems like, and I'm not trying to criticize anyone, but it seems like some of the really big channels, I'm not sure if they've become a little bit complacent, or maybe it's become a little bit more of a job to them. It doesn't seem to have the same feel that it did a few years ago, whereas a lot of the smaller channels, you get kind of a fresher perspective and kind of a little bit different presentation. And I find myself watching more and more of them. So kind of a wide variety. Pat Riot, always enjoy rewatching the older videos, recommending them to others, but you sure look different. Thank you. And KJ Stanley's in Ohio. Well, welcome, KJ. I appreciate you joining us tonight. Funniest incident as an LEO. Oh, you're going to put me on a spot here. I could tell you about having to fight with a naked 16-year-old girl. If you've ever tried to fight with someone without touching them, it's very difficult to do, believe me. I don't even want to go down that road. Are you still an active LEO? In what capacity? Yes, I am a law enforcement officer. I'm the chief of police for a small village here in Ohio. Mike Gardner, thanks for your service. Enjoy your channel. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Veteran, can you verify this claim? I'm not sure if that question is meant for me or someone else. My great uncle was wounded on Iwo Jima. Your great uncle was a hero. Absolutely. Can your daughter do some live piano this evening? She actually just walked out of the room, so she's not here anymore. I don't know if I could coax her into doing anything live right now or not. Looking at shooting coats, leaning toward Champion's Choice, NRA Cordura Rifleman's Coat. I have a Champion's Choice. I like it a lot. It's not the most expensive coat out there, but they last forever, and it works very well for me. So I would endorse them. There are some more expensive ones from Creedmoor and places like that, but I do like the Champion's Choice jackets. Your opinions, there are a limit to what Americans should be able to own under the Second Amendment: tank, nuke, AR, grenade. You know, here's the thing. You can own anything, and if someone doesn't use it in an improper way or harmful way or whatever else, it doesn't do anything. So I don't know. I've had those kind of questions before. Should people be able to own grenades, or should people be able to own whatever? I don't know that I'm the one that should be answering that question. But again, if someone owns something and never harm anybody with it, then it doesn't do any harm. Do you still beat the band? Yeah, I do. I just jumped again here. Stuart Grimm's got to leave. See you, Stuart. Thanks for joining us. Dale Kidd, have a ball once again. Congrats on 20,000. See you in the comments section. Thanks for joining us, Dale. Catch Jitsu, Kape Kido Jiu-Jitsu, arresting techniques. Would love to see you do an arresting technique. Maybe I'll do that sometime. I really enjoyed the Taiho Jitsu. It's something that it's very similar to what was once taught in police academies. And over the years, it's really drifted away from that and gotten into just a few basic strikes and things like that. And of course, everything's gone to taser and pepper spray and those kind of things. So a lot of that has faded out of the police academy, and I don't think it should have. But I do enjoy the Taiho Jitsu. Maybe I'll do a video on that someday. That'd be kind of fun. Mine, Yoshikai, Taekwondo, and Kung Fu. Cool. Steve Double-Ott served in the Navy in the mid-'80s himself. Steve, thanks for your service in the Navy. What caliber single-action army? Come on. There's only one caliber for the single-action army. There are conversations between people on here that are taking place, and I'm trying to skip over those and look for questions or comments coming to me. Mike Gardner, enjoyed your vid on the Browning High Power. Have you used any of the BH Spring Solutions products for you? Yes, I have. And actually, my Charles Daly High Power, I've got, I think, all BH Spring Solutions springs in that, the BH Spring Solutions grips. So I've actually used quite a few of their products. I enjoy BH Spring Solutions both their company and their products. Keel, keep up the good work. I'll try. Dan B., if your department mandated that you confiscate firearms from legal law-abiding citizens, how would that affect your moral compass? Actually, it wouldn't affect it at all because I'd resign. There are certain things that I just will not do. In fact, I'm thinking about producing a midweek update coming up, talking about issues that I'm seeing currently across the country and the way some police officers are responding to this current situation. There are things that disturb me, and that is one of those things that our oath as police officers is to first and foremost support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and you do not support and defend the Constitution of the United States by depriving the citizens you're sworn to protect of their individual liberties. So that is something I just would not do. And again, I'm trying to scroll down through the comments here. Rich Power, sorry, is trying to ask you had a list of firearms you do not have, but would like to do a video on. Oh, the short answer to that is yes, but I can't really give you a list of them off the top of my head. There's a lot of firearms out there, a lot that I would like to do videos on. And I'm getting a lot of videos. I've got people that have been loaning me video or loaning me firearms here lately. Once in a while, I'll have a ad company get a hold of me and ask if I'll do a review on one of their firearms. They send it to me, and I've done some of those. So I do have firearms coming in. Plus, I'm always, buying or selling or trading or whatever. So I have a pretty steady flow of new firearms coming in that I can use. But I do appreciate the question. You tend to focus on larger service size handguns in your videos. Is there any plan on ever doing videos with smaller handguns like J-frames? I've got some J-frame videos out there, and I just did the one on the Springfield Armory Hellcat, which I very much like, by the way. So I do get some smaller firearms in there every now and then. I know you're right. I spend a lot of time with the larger service size handguns, but I try to get some small ones in every now and again too. Did you watch Douglas? I guess that's Dakota. He read. If that's the officer that is in all the hot water right now, I heard the story, but I don't think I actually saw or heard what he said. Again, sorry, I'm just trying to catch up here. Carbine Phantom, enjoying the channel. Just watched your Cap and Ball HD. Loved it. If you could choose any milsurp for home defense, excluding arms made post-Korean War, what would it be? A good milsurp pre-Korean War Browning high power would be high on that list, just because I'm such a high power fan. Walther PPKs obviously are classics, so something along those lines. Small village in Ohio near Youngstown. No, we're farther west than that, over near central Ohio. As an experienced LEO, what are your thoughts on executive orders that violate constitutional rights? The more I think about it, the more I think I'm going to do this midweek update talking about some of these issues. And again, our first responsibility as police officers, the first part of our oath that we take is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. So anything that violates that, I think, really is in violation of an officer's oath. Rider 54, thanks for the live chat. Looking forward to the next one. You take care. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you joining in. Just trying to scroll down a little bit. Ben Crane, see police more interested in dominating a situation rather than de-escalating lately. Wonder if this is being taught in the academies. No, and I think that's highly dependent on the department they're working for, the supervisors that they have, how they're being trained in those various jurisdictions. And I don't want to be overly judgmental on other officers as far as that goes, without knowing any specifics or being involved in any incidents myself. But again, a lot of that depends on just the environment and the culture of the department they're working in. Are you going to compete at Malvern this season? I might, just because the national matches are canceled for this year. I've never been to Malvern. Wouldn't mind going down there, so I may well show up at some point. Skip Boyer, when is the next qualification video? Have you ever rethought having someone come and shoot with you for a donation? Yes, I have, and one of these days I've actually thought about throwing out an invitation and having anyone that wants to come and shoot on our range just come in, and maybe we'll take a grill out there and do some hamburgers and hot dogs and things like that, and do some shooting, all of that for a donation to our Shop with a Cop program, which is perpetually underfunded. But I thought about doing it, and then I worry either one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to have so many people out there that's unmanageable, or else I'm going to be sitting out there with a barbecue grill all by myself with no one else around. But I have thought about that. One of these days, I may well do that. Jeff Hill, how long were you a sniper, and where did you receive your training? I became a sniper for my department's tactical team in 1996, and I stayed in that position all the way up until when I retired in 2014. That was my former department. My initial training was the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy. There was a 2-week advanced sniper course that was actually partially set up by Carlos Hathcock. He came up here and helped him set that course up. And he actually came up they only ran that course once a year, and he came up every year when the course was conducted, up until the point that his health deteriorated to where he could not come up anymore. And I was only maybe the second class that came through when he wasn't able to attend, but it was an outstanding course, very, very good, very closely associated or very closely related to the Marine Corps course, obviously, with him helping set it up. Then I also attended an FBI sniper course that was conducted up at Camp Perry, and a lot of other training, both locally with other snipers, training on my own. As a sniper, your training never really ends. But that's some of my background there. And every time I look away, this thing jumps, and I have to try to catch up to where I was again. Chris Peterson, did you ever try the MR-73 from France? No, I haven't. I've seen pictures of it, read about it, but I've never tried one. Washington officer is in trouble for making a video in uniform. Yeah, I had heard about that. I don't know. I hope that works out for the best. Where's the puppy? It's out in the other room somewhere. Mark Chiveri trained at TDI in West Union. Oops, this thing just jumped. In 2004. I've heard of it. I've never been there, but I have heard of it. I think I might have even seen an ad, or maybe even looked at their website at one point. Any experience with the Kimber K6? No, not yet, other than just handling it and looking at it at the NRA annual meeting. I've never shot it or anything like that. Any thoughts or experience with Taurus revolvers? A little bit of experience, which has been kind of checkered. Some of them have performed very well. Some of them have had issues. I think the ones they're making currently are better than some of the ones they made years ago. but I don't have a tremendous amount of experience with Taurus revolvers. What would you do on a normal Friday night? Just wondering. Probably be sitting out in my living room watching TV. No, I didn't get to shoot with Carlos. I wish I had. Like I said, I was only about the second or third class after he stopped attending because his health had gotten so bad. Now, a friend of mine did attend a year or two before I did, and he was there and has a autographed copy of Carlos's book, and he's got a picture of him with his arm around him and stuff like that, which always makes me jealous. But I did not actually meet him, so unfortunately, his health had declined to the point he wasn't able to attend when I went to training. Did you ever hear about Ahmed Aubrey? Yeah, I've heard the story. I don't feel like I know enough details to make any kind of comment one way or the other, but I have heard the story. Consider doing more videos on lever actions. Yes, I'd like to do some more videos on lever actions. And it's one of those things that my time is so constricted that, trying to get the one premiere video that I do on Saturday mornings that comes out usually comes out at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays. And that one tends to be between 15 minutes and a half an hour somewhere. But between that and trying to squeeze in the midweek update somewhere really is about the only time I have. If I ever really retire and I have a lot more time to commit toward making videos, then I might be able to get maybe 2 full-length videos up a week, and I'll have more time and I can get more content out there. Recently, our Canadian Liberal government banned some 1,500 military-type assault rifles. Do you fear that the liberal-minded American politicians will try to follow suit? Yes. I think given the chance that some of our politicians here would do the exact same thing. Frank Buddha says he'd drive to that barbecue. Thanks, Frank. What's your favorite revolver company? I got to be honest, my favorite revolver company is Smith & Wesson. Those are the ones that I have the most of in my safes. There's actually a safe over here you can't see, and that one back there. They both have Smith & Wesson firearms in there. So that would be my favorite revolver company. Consider doing more law enforcement drill videos. Those are coming. I was talking about that a little while ago. So that's definitely coming up in the near future. What's the video for tomorrow? I'm glad you asked. Tomorrow, I'm taking tomorrow off after tonight. Doing the live stream. I'm going to take tomorrow off. So, unfortunately, I apologize, but everyone's going to have to spend tomorrow watching whatever's on TV or whatever, spending time with your family. But I apologize. There's not going to be a Saturday morning premiere video tomorrow. David Radford, seriously considering getting a Remington 1858. Are they good? I really like mine. Mine are both Piettas. I really enjoy them. I did have an issue with my 8-inch 1858 with some misfires, and I had to mess around with it a little bit. I've more or less got that cured now, but I love shooting them. They're a lot of fun. Of course, a little bit more work to clean and whatever, but they are a lot of fun to take out to the range and play with. And I made the video here just a week or so ago with the Sheriff's model, which was also a lot of fun. And that video was very, very well received. It's gaining on 20,000 views at this point, which for one of my videos is tremendous. I think last time I checked it was up over 17,000. So when it hits the 1 week point tomorrow, it's going to be pretty close to 20,000. Thank you all for watching and supporting that video. If you ever do lever action, may I suggest? I would love to do a video on a Savage Model 99. I don't have one. I've always thought they were cool lever action rifles. I would love to do a video with one, but I don't have one currently. If I can get my hands on one, you'll see it in a video. Which 45s are the softest shooters for you, polymer guns? My M&P 45 is a surprisingly soft shooter for a 45 ACP. Of all the ones that I have in my personal collection, I think that's probably the softest shooting 45 ACP that I have. KO U.S. Marshal. Okay, well, if I'm up again, or if I'm even in the same conversation with John Wayne, then I feel like I have accomplished something. G Wheeler, hi HR, I love the vids. I'm wondering if you've ever done a video on North American Arms no, I don't think I did. I owned one of those once. I traded it a few years ago, but I did own one for several years, and it was a nice enough little revolver. It was just 22 rimfire, but it was kind of fun. M&P 2.044 polymer, soft shooting, great grip, super accurate. I agree, Pete. I really like mine. Mark Chiaveri, if I could locate a Brazilian police qualification video, would that be interesting? Yes, it would. Again, a lot of people have asked me to do these from other countries and from federal agencies and military branches here in the U.S. So I'm open to that. I want to get the state qualification courses done first. And then I don't know if I'm going to do another series trying to hit like every country around the world or every branch of the military, but I might throw one in here and one there. Just for fun, so people can see some of the contrast between the different courses and just some of the different philosophies from different departments in different countries, etc. Jonathan D'Antonio, I had a 617, great weapon, made back in the 80s. I had a 617 also, and that's one that I wish I would have held on to. I had a 4-inch 10-shot, nice revolver, traded it on something else, mainly because I've got a Model 18 that I really, really like, and I ended up trading the 617, but I kind of wish I had held on to that. Tom Crawford looked at one of the Pieta 1858s this week, out of stock almost everywhere, possibly due to your video. Maybe Pieta will send me a check or something. How about that? Paul Woodall, have a family in Beaver Creek. I don't think I've ever been to Beaver Creek. I know about where it is, but I don't believe I've ever been there. Okay, looks like I've got a Savage 99 on the way. Thanks, Edward. I'd like more to see videos of you using old guns on modern qualification drills. I'm trying to get some of those, but as I work my way through the courses, trying to use, not repeat firearms, I end up using some modern firearms in there from time to time. As much as I can, I try to default back to the older firearms. Two Lucky Gunners just did a video on the Illinois law enforcement qualification course. All right, cool. I'll take a look at that. Thoughts on the Smith & Wesson Model 66 Combat Magnum as a concealed carry? You didn't mention what the barrel length is. I have a 2.5-inch Model 19 that I absolutely love, and the Model 66 would be that same exact size. And I do carry that from time to time. It's a great concealed carry firearm. Plenty of power. I like to use it with the Remington mid-range 357 Golden Sabers. I really like that revolver and ammunition combination. It makes a great concealed carry package. At least Scooby-Doo is on tomorrow. Maybe I'll watch Scooby-Doo tomorrow while I'm eating my pancakes and drinking my coffee. I'm not sure if it's Hebes or Hebes 405. What Milsurp vintage rifle video would you like to do if you plan on this type of video? I would really like to do an M1917. I've shot those once or twice, but not too much, and that would be kind of fun. Also, a British 303 would be fun. So I kind of keep my eyes open to that. So you never know what you might see show up in one of my videos. as long as it isn't a scrappy do. All right. And looky there, I just looked over at the time. We're at 1 hour and 15 minutes. So this is probably getting to be about time to wrap things up. I really, really appreciate all of you joining tonight. Thank you for all of the questions, all the comments, all the feedback. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing. Again, the thing that keeps me coming back again and again and again is all of you and this tremendous sense of community and communication with so many people across the country and around the world. We all have this shared interest in firearms, but beyond that, and I'll say this again, I feel like I have the greatest viewers on YouTube because of the type of people that I sense all of you are. Yeah, just good people, decent people who are willing to share your knowledge, take time to send a comment, take time to join in a live stream. So thank you again. You all have a good night. God bless you, and keep an eye out for my next video. And until next time, good shooting. Bye-bye.